guys, this is Andy with Serenoa Landscape Design. Today we are going to do palm talk. I'm going to show you one of my favorite projects we've done, and I want to show you some of the different palms that we use in this landscape. First off, starting behind me, this is called a Kamadoria Microspadix, also known as a cold hardy bamboo palm. It's very cold tolerant, however it does need a lot of shade, and it does like to have some wet feet and very rich soil. So, you know, if you're gonna have this one, make sure you mulch it heavily. It likes, you know, oak leaves and stuff like that where the organic matter is really thick. But if you do that, they're very low maintenance. They're great for like underneath the oak trees. They have really pretty fruits like yellow and orange and red. So it's a very interesting plant, and we're gonna put it on this job, and I'm really excited about it. We actually had to drive quite a ways to get our hands on these guys, but these are beautiful specimens, and sometimes it's worth it to make a little road trip. So a couple other palms that we have on this job. These are some Sabal Minors. I've talked about these before. It's related to our state tree, the Sable Palmetto. These guys don't get too big, you know. They don't really have much of a trunk. They'll get about this tall, and they have pretty white flowers, but they're just a nice native, wild looking type of palm. It's also one of the most cold hardy palms in the world. Come on back here, I'll show you a couple other palms. This is called a cardboard palm. It's not actually a palm. It is a type of cycad, which is like a prehistoric plant where like ferns and palms and all that kind of stuff probably came from. But they're really neat. They're very low maintenance. The cardboard palm is a little tender to cold weather, but being that we're on an island close to the beach, on the water, and we're underneath this natural greenhouse of this understory oak canopy, they're very protected here and very happy. So we had a pretty harsh winter this year. Christmas time, it nuked a lot of the different plants around town. But these guys, you know, where they may have taken a lot more damage further inland, we're fine out here. So that's just using microclimates. But anyways, great palm. This is about full size for these guys. They can get bigger, but they're very, very cool. This guy here is not a palm either. This is a tree fern, but one of my favorite plants to use as well. So come on over here, I'll show you a couple more palms. Here we have a Dwarf Sugar Palm. It's a really great tropical cold hardy palm. There's two different varieties of this. There's the tremula and the anglari, and you don't want to get the tremula. They're the ones that have a little bit of a bigger leaf, and they get bigger and softer, and they blow in the wind a little bit more. You have to be careful when you're ordering Dwarf Sugar Palms to get the right kind. The anglaris have a little bit more silver undertone, a little bit more smaller, more compact, rigid leaf. But really awesome orange fruit, similar to the Microspadix, and really great plant. So yeah, really awesome. They don't grow a trunk, but they're really nice for screening. Then we have this little understory pocket here of needle palms. Those are another native Florida palm and one of the most cold hardy palms in the world. It gets its name because it has these tiny little needles on it down near the base, and they will kind of make you itch if you poke yourself on them, but really they're super low maintenance palms. You don't need to get in there around those needles for the most part, and they're just cold hardy. They look really elegant. It kind of looks like a lady palm in terms of like the leaf, but it's not gonna run and get super invasive. I think the full height on those is usually about 6 foot tall is the biggest that they'll get. Back there, if you want to zoom in, those are called coontie palms, and those are a type of cycad, just like the cardboard palm was. But those are native cycads to Florida, and they're very cold tolerant and very versatile plants. So I highly recommend using those in landscapes. They're shade, sun, wet, dry, whatever. Let's see, is there any more? We can hop on through here. I'll show you a couple more palms over this way. See if you can make that jump.
Oh yeah.
This is another native Florida palm. This is called a Paurotis palm or Everglades palm. I don't know how to pronounce the Latin name on this one, but it's a really beautiful accent plant to use, or a focal point. You can trim up the bases to be a little bit more defined looking, but they're nice to keep in a little bit more of a wild shape as well. It's just personal preference. These are more of a South Florida native, so they grow naturally down in the Everglades right out of the water. These guys are also pretty tender, so you want to be careful and make sure that you're putting them in an area where it's a microclimate. So like I said earlier, we're close to the water on all sides of us on this little island here. And then the house is also putting off a lot of heat, protecting it from the cold wind and stuff like that. So these guys made it through a really rough winter and they're looking great. You can see some of the flowers which are turning into berries up there. But these are one of my favorite palms when we get to use them in an application like this. So above me is the granddaddy of all palms that are available to us in Northeast Florida. In my humble opinion, I think they're the coolest, biggest, baddest, things that you can go with. We had to put these in with a big crane, but they are looking really great and healthy, and they're just awesome focal points. They do a good job to kind of hide that house. We have the native Sabal Palms, which we haven't talked about, growing all underneath them. And then we have the Sabal Minors underneath that. So you can kind of see the difference between the two palms. One basically has a trunk and the other one doesn't. And then, not palm related, but we have wax myrtle growing all underneath that. So that's going to just be a nice, natural looking screen there. So anyways, let me think if there's any more palms. We have a couple more palms in the back that just came in. I want to show you what they look like, and then I'll let you guys go. Alright guys, so this is called a silver palmetto. The Latin name for this plant is Serenoa repens. My company is Serenoa Landscape Design, so that's where I got the name for my company from. It's one of my favorite landscape plants to use because it's so versatile. You can use it in the sun or the shade. Once it's established, you don't need to give it any water, and it's just awesome. It comes in a silvery color like this. I've never seen any that come in pots this size. These are beautiful specimens, and we're really excited to put them on this property. As you can see, it's a pretty special place, and I think that these guys, being native and such specimens that they are going to be a really nice complement to what's going on here. So anyways, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a palm talk here in Canary Island today. Hope everybody's doing good. If you have any questions or want to get some palm trees or anything like that, let me know. I'm always happy to help, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya.